Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rumble with Michael Moore. I am Michael Moore, and today is the first anniversary of this podcast. It was 1 year ago today that we posted our very first episode of Rumble, and we had no listeners, no subscribers, no anything. We just sort of began, and along came all of you, to the point now where we've had 22 million downloads of Rumble and an incredible base of listeners and participants that makes me so thrilled to be doing this podcast every week. We don't come on any scheduled day. We don't have any amount that we're trying to do each week. We do them when we think we need to do them. And we've done, this is 147, episode 147. We've done 147 episodes in the last 52 weeks. So roughly about 3 a week. Now, this past week, we've been spending our time. They haven't heard from me in a number of days now. Whenever that happens, many of you write, you're worried that I've come down with the virus or whatever. I am very fortunate, knock on, I'm hoping that's wood, that I have not had to deal with this tragedy that so many people have had to. But no, we took the last week here to sort of, as we were coming to this first anniversary, the end of our first year, to think about what do we want to do in the next year, in year 2, in the year 2021. When we started this a year ago, we'd heard of COVID-19, but just barely. I mean, this was December, and we did not. I think the first recorded case of it was, I think, 2 weeks after we started this podcast. So this all began. This is a sort of a pre-pandemic podcast, and we decided to start it not during Trump's first year. We did a number of things from the time that Trump announced that he was running. 3 months after he made that announcement, coming down the golden escalator, Trump Tower, that summer, 3 months later, we released a film called Where to Invade Next. And that became our first answer, in the hopes of being able to show what we could do if someone like Trump wasn't elected president. And that was the first of 3 films that went in at the end of 2015 when the campaign had started. And then Michael Moore in Trumpland in 2016 in the hopes of stopping that tragic decision. And then in 2018, we made Fahrenheit 11/9/16 being the night that Trump was announced as the president. And so we thought we would make a film halfway through his term to remind people that Trump just didn't fall out of the sky, that he came to us for the very reason that he was supposed to come, for all that we had allowed our politicians and our corporate entities to get away with for decades. If you just kind of look back at it, the logical conclusion of all of that madness was more madness in the form of Donald Trump as our president. And so then at the end of last year, the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, we started thinking about, obviously, what everyone else was thinking about. What can we do to help get rid of Trump? But maybe more importantly, what can we do to get rid of that which gave us Trump? And that was sort of the mission of the podcast, to sort of to dig in to how the hell we got here. And yes, get rid of Trump, but also make sure that we don't ever find ourselves in this place again. Now that's a little it's a little audacious in the sense of just saying it that way because we got rid of Trump, but of course we're still in the place, in the mentality, in the way that we structure ourselves as an American society. We're still there. And we got a swift kick in the butt and a cold bucket of water over our heads when we saw that 74 million of our fellow Americans loved the last 4 years so much they just wanted 4 more years of it. And so we know what we're dealing with. That which gave us Trump not only isn't going away, it hasn't gone away, and it won't go away until we, the majority, the 81 million that removed him, actually continue the important work that we need to do now to fix what's wrong. And so we've spent the last week thinking a lot about that. And what can our contribution, myself, Rumble, the few of us that work on this, what can we do to fix this? That is no small task. But here we are. Here we are on our first anniversary. And so we thought, well, what better way to celebrate it than first to thank all of you for being participants in this. And secondly, to ask you to join with us as we find and create the work that we're going to do to remove this sick and sad way that we do things in this country. And it has given us and the world so many heartaches. And it is presenting us with a challenge that I'm not afraid to take on. And I don't think most of you are either. We've needed a bit of a breather. I agree with that. Since the election, I'm sure a lot of people have just wanted to recapture some semblance of normal or peace. And we know we can't quite get it the way we want it, in part because we are still in various forms of lockdown because of a worldwide pandemic. Nonetheless, I know you. I know this about you. I know you're committed. You're committed to getting us to our new normal, not the old normal, right? I mean, there were many things about the old normal that we liked, and we will have those things back, but we do not want to go back there. We want to create the new normal, the new way that we're going to live, the new way that we're going to be citizens of this planet. And all of that is ahead of us. All of that is in front of us right now. And we can do it. That's the beauty of it. We literally have the power to do it. And we are not going to be controlled by those forces that have decided that we're just the cogs in the wheel. No. We're more than that. First of all, we are the wheel. And we will determine how the wheel turns, how fast it goes, where it goes, and we will make sure that everyone is invited along for the ride. Aren't you sort of excited by that? To just think of how we, the people, being in charge, of how we can create this. And this is what we've been talking about in the last week amongst ourselves here privately, about where do we take this now? Where do we collectively as a people, what do we do? The list is long, and we can make that list. We can make it together, and we can not be sidelined by all of our cynicism and despair and a sense of, Mike, there's no way we're really going to be able to do any of this because they're in charge. They control things. They. Who are they? I'm talking about we, you and I. And I'm not talking about pie in the sky here. I'm not talking about, we're all going to lock arms here and, like Dorothy and the Scarecrow and the Cowardly Lion and the Tin Man happily head down the yellow brick road. We are on no yellow brick road. There is no yellow brick road. We're going to create the new normal and the new road. And we have to start doing that right now. Yes, I know it's the holidays. Take a moment. Yes, no. And hopefully you're doing this just amongst the people that live with you. Please don't infect yourself and others during this time. I don't have to say that. Others are going to do that to themselves. Others are going to kill members of their own family. Not us. That's not how we're going to do this. But do pause. We're wrapping up here. As I'm recording this, it's the end of the 8th night of Hanukkah. It's 14 more shopping days to Christmas. That's how Christians, that's how we count the days that are left. Instead of lighting 8 candles, we're just figuring out. Yeah, but I did, look, a lot of you, I'm making fun of this, but seriously, this could be such a wonderful time to contact people we haven't talked to in a long time, to write a poem to the people we love, or write a little essay, write a little short story, bake some cookies, go really, really old school with this. It's not about putting stuff on your credit card and trying to meet whatever Amazon deadline still exists. It's about giving something of yourself to the people that you love. And there's a number of ways you can do that with your hands, with your mind, with your heart. So do take some time in these next 2 weeks to do that. During this last week here, Christmas will be Friday on the 25th, and then New Year's will be Friday, January 1st. Kwanzaa's in there. There's all different kinds of things that you can be doing and celebrating. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with our spirit, with each other. So do that. And now we'll just take a few seconds for Mike's Christmas break. Nick, hit it.
Christmas, just like the ones I used to know.
Okay, there you go. Now, didn't that feel good? All right. Now, my friends, the work. I shouldn't call it work. The joy of trying to reclaim an idea of a democracy that never really, truly, fully existed ever. Yet, should we choose to do so? What if that started right now? What if that started happening tonight, tomorrow, next week? Why wait? Start with the small stuff. By the end of 2021, we could be living in an entirely different America. And for those of you listening around the world, we can join with you and be living in an entirely different world. It doesn't have to take years or decades or centuries. It literally could take days or weeks or months if we chose to do that. Always remember there's more of us than there are of them, the them being the sad, hateful, angry people that I know will come around once they see what we've done for them, giving them and their children a planet that they can live on for a very long time, giving them free health care, making sure their kids can go to college and not have to worry about the bill because there's no bill. Oh my God, we're going to do all this stuff for the people that hate us. And by the end of the year or two, they're going to go, well, that Michael Moore and that crowd of his he hangs out with, I still hate him. But damn, I didn't have to take out my wallet when I went to see the doctor today. My college debt's gone. My minimum wage job just got doubled the pay, double the pay. See, when we do these things, it's not just going to be for us, it's going to be for them too. And some of them, a number of them, a lot of them, are going to be grateful. They may not agree with us on certain political issues. That's okay. Their children will. If we make sure they've got good schools and libraries and books that they can read, then we're going to be okay. So we here at Rumble Incorporated, Rumble Worldwide, we've been putting a lot of thought into what we should be doing in the coming year, and not just with this podcast, but growing in a way that's even more inclusive of other voices, other people, you. And it's very exciting what we've been thinking about doing. Some of it's just small stuff. Some of it's kind of big and scary. A lot of it's really cool. And I'm not going to talk about it on this. I just wanted this to be a short podcast to thank you for this first year and to tell you how happy I am about being part of this with you, and to take a moment and acknowledge what we've accomplished this year. Wow. Seriously, think about it. Millions took to the streets to protest the people who carry the guns. And I don't mean the 350 million guns that are owned by our fellow Americans in their homes. I'm talking about guns that are issued by our government, our city government, our state government, federal government, to police. And a number of those police have not treated that responsibility with the respect and the love that it requires, and took it for granted. And millions said, enough. That was so amazing. If I could turn back the clock, if I could just go there to Minneapolis on May 25th, if I could just kneel down there next to George Floyd. First, before doing that, I'd have to say, just hang on a second, George. I'm going to wrestle this cop right off you right now, motherfucker. I would have tried to do that. Gun or no gun, I don't care. Yep, Mike, he was carrying a gun. Yes, I know that. And so were his three cohorts. I don't care. Can never, ever stand by. We can't let that ever happen again. But if I had been unable to do that, if I had failed to do that, I would have hoped I would have had just a few seconds, the last seconds in the last 8 minutes and 46 seconds of George Floyd's life. Mr. Floyd, your death will not be in vain. Your death will force Americans, white Americans, to take a hard look at what we've done and how we have benefited from it. Mr. Floyd, you will not be forgotten. You will never be forgotten. I will never forget you. I thank you. I thank you for this sacrifice, because I can see the end of this. I can see the outcome of this. Yes. And I think I'm not the only one. And I'm just so damn sorry that you had to give your life for it. But we will not rest until the world that created the ability for this officer to do this in broad daylight with a ho-hum look on his face as he choked the life out of you. Didn't have a rope handy, but he could lynch you with his knee, and he knew right where to put it. And now you're gone. But you are not gone. You are not gone. Not one of us have forgotten you. Every single one of us live with this commitment to fix this, to seek justice for you and for everyone who's struggling to survive under the boot, under the knee of those in power, of those with the guns. I will not rest. And I can tell you right now, the hundreds of thousands of people listening to this podcast, they will not rest either. Our deepest gratitude. And thank you, too, for giving me the strength to realize that I will be willing to make whatever sacrifice needs to be made so that not only this doesn't happen to you or anybody like you again, that everything else that represents the boot, that represents the knee, that represents the rope, everything else in our society that conspires to keep certain people in their place and to harm them whenever possible. That ends now. 2021. Bring it on. I want those of you who are listening to this to come back in the coming days and weeks and join with me in actually making happen that which I just committed to. And I just didn't commit myself, my friends. I committed you to it also, but I think that's okay, right? Because how else are we going to live? And how else are we going to make it if we don't do that? And I will commit to providing an outlet, a voices. I will commit to using my abilities and talents and skills, whatever it is that I've been lucky enough to have. I will do that and 10 times that. I will continue to rise up. I will continue to find ways for you and I to use our voice, to use this technology. And I'm looking forward to it. And if you could see me right now, I've got a big, big smile on my face because I know we're going to pull this off. It won't be easy. And some of us may not make it. I hate to say that. But nonetheless, we will succeed in creating a better country, a more just country, a more equal country, and a better world. A world where we can breathe, and a world where everybody has a chance. So take this episode, number 147, here on our first anniversary of Rumble. Take this as my huge, huge gratitude toward all of you for listening, for joining with me, for letting me join with you. All of that. Thank you. And let me also extend my hand through this microphone into whatever device you're listening to this on. Let me hold up my hand to you right now and ask you to please, let's join together. Our job is not done. Yes, we got rid of Trump. That was the easy part, my friends. The real job is now of what we create, of what we do and how we do it and how we bring this to other people. I've got some ideas. I've got, I think, some really good ideas. And I want you to be part of this with me. So stay tuned. Stay part of this. Thank you for 1 year of Rumble. I can't wait. I can't wait till we start the second year. Be well. Please stay safe. There's no other choice. I love all of you. Thank you. Take care.